What's up, guys? Want to make a quick video. I've been dreading making this video because it's kind of embarrassing. So I took my car to the track a couple weeks ago up in Gainesville and wanted to see what it would do in stock trim the way I bought it. I was expecting, looking at the specs to the car, they always, everything that you read says 13.9s roughly. I'll tell you, so this car, the Daytona, is supposed to put out 10 horsepower more than the regular RT that was running 13.9s. So I was very disappointed. The best I ran for the day was a 1439. Yeah, 1439. So that was at 98 point something miles an hour with a 60-foot time of 2.2. So I left the track that day after there was a lot of people there, so I think I only had 3 runs, maybe 4 runs. That 14.19 was my 14.39 was my best run for that day. So left the track, kind of just been brainstorming about what the hell could have went wrong. I mean, I'm certainly no pro at running the tree and everything else, but my reaction times were pretty decent. It just didn't seem right. So over the course of the last few weeks, I threw my exhaust on full headers, cat back, had the cold air intake put on. This was all after I went to the track. Went to the track again this past week down in Bradenton. Basically, I mean, I know it's a different track and everything, but the outside conditions were a little bit cooler, but overall, everything else was pretty similar. I ran a best of 14.1 and change. I might have been 1.9 at, I think it was 100 miles per hour. My best 60-foot time was, I think it was a 1.9 if I remember correctly. But yeah, so 14.1. So I'm a little frustrated. I'm a little, I mean, I don't want to say I'm embarrassed. I mean, the car is a 4,300 pound car and it's only 350 horsepower from the factory. So I'm not, I guess, I don't know. It's not the end of the world. It's like 0.4 seconds off from what I was expecting. I was really hoping to just touch into the 13s. I've said it once before. I know the gearing in this car is fucking anemic, and I know I'm never going to get any decent times in this car until I change the gearing. So that's definitely on the horizon. I don't know if I'm going to do a 373 or if I'm going to do a 392 rear end gear. It's tough because, so when I look around the what's available, it's like a 392 rear end for this car. It goes for like $1,200 just for the rear end. I have to put axles in it and everything else. If I went with a 373 gearing, that's like fucking $1,800. So I don't really understand why there's such a drastic difference. It's the same gearbox, just different gearing. So I don't know if it's because the 392s don't sell a lot or what. But what I'll probably end up doing is picking up the 392s. When I go to the track, I can run a 29-inch tall tire, and doing the math, that would bring the effective gearing down to, if I remember right, I think I figured out to be like a 3.5, like a 355 rear end, effectively. And of course, it'll be with a drag radial as opposed to what I have on the car right now, which aren't bad tires on the car right now. I mean, it's hooking up. I don't know. I was kind of at a loss, like I said. So next, I'm gonna look to put those gears in the car. I'm gonna order a throttle body from Fastman, and the biggest thing is I'm gonna get a tune, because I really believe that I'm not getting the full effect of the cold air intake and the full exhaust without a tune. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these guys that think I'm gonna gain like 50 horsepower from an exhaust and a tune, but you know, hopefully if I'm doing 14.1 now, hopefully if I can get a good tune on the car. And what sucks is it'll be an email tune, but I'm going to go to Jay Green. From what I'm told and what everybody says, he's definitely the best in the business. I'm hoping I can at least break into the 13s with this car before the gears. So I know I can only assume I would get similar results out of the gearbox. I remember back in the day I had my 89 IROC with a 305 slow output motor in it. It came stock with 282 gears, if I remember correctly, and I switched over to a 355 rear end on that car, and I literally dropped 0.4 of a second with no other change, just the rear gears in the quarter mile. And it was just it was life-changing. Well, life-changing, that's a little extreme, but it changed the whole car around. It was like a whole new car. So I'm really hoping that this car will do the same, especially given the weight of this car. The only difference is now when I start to talk about cam and everything else, if I go with a 392 gearing, I'm going to want something that's going to have maybe not as much torque, but it'll give me higher peak horsepower numbers on the backside, and I'll be able to rev a little bit higher. So yeah, that's where I am now. 06 Daytona Charger, running a 14.1 in a quarter mile. Not happy. It's not the end of the world though. Like I said, I still love this car. It's still my baby. You know, I tell my wife I'm calling it Project Fake-O Kitty, because, you know, I'm thinking long term. I'm not really stressing about the short term. You know, would I like to be in the 13s already now? Yes, I would, but I'm not going to scream about it. You know, I'm going to try to get every ounce of horsepower I can out of the stock motor and set up the car to handle higher horsepower before I start doing stuff like heads and cam. And, you know, eventually I'll have, I don't know if I'm going to go forced induction or if I'm going to go nitrous. I've had experience with both. I love the Vortex superchargers on my Mustang that I had. I've also loved nitrous on the car I've had. So they both have pros and cons. I'm just not sure which I'm going to do, but I mean, my ultimate goal is still to have this car putting somewhere between 500 and 600 horsepower when it's all done, you know, and that'll be really nice. You really don't see many of these first gen Chargers out there that are putting out those kind of numbers and can compete with these Scat Packs and some of these Camaros that are out here. So that's it for the video today. Today was just more of an information thing as opposed to what I did to the car today. It's going to take me a little bit to get that rear end and axles and everything else, so I'll probably do the throttle body and all that other stuff first. But first things first, the first thing I'm going to do, and I'll probably do it today, email Jay Green and get a email tune for my car, and I'll go from there. And I will keep you guys informed. You know, like I said, I didn't want to confess these times, but I want real world. If somebody else picks up one of these cars and wants to start looking for informational videos on what they did and what they can expect, so there you go. 14.1 currently, 14.39 to start out with. So yeah, there was a little bit of progress made with just exhaust and the cold air intake. Hopefully the tune will do better. You know, there's one question I do have for anybody that may know about these cars and may watch one of my videos. These cars came with a different head in these years. It was the pre-Eagle heads. So if any one of you guys know, if I want to switch this to the Eagle heads, do you guys know? Does anybody know? Will they bolt right up to this motor? Is there anything that I need to do? Just leave a note in the comments or something. Let me know if you guys know anything. Thanks, guys. That's all I got for today.